Ladies and gentlemen, this is NFL Week 4. We have all the games to predict. This is going to be a tough one, guys. We went 12-4 last week. I don't think we're going to be so lucky this time around. A lot of close matchups this week and some definitely hyped up matchups. So let's go over them. Thursday night, we got Jaguars at Bengals. Now, I know you might be thinking, oh, this is an easy one. Just pick Cincinnati. The Jaguars are terrible. You're right, but I'm going to tell you something. Anything can happen in Thursday night games. They are the craziest, most unpredictable games of all time. That being said, I still have to go with the Bengals. The Bengals have actually looked decent. They've actually looked halfway decent, so I'm fine to pick them. Next up, we have two of the unfortunate teams, Washington and Atlanta. Washington, of course, won their division last year, but didn't even have a winning record when they did so. Their defense was their strength. Unfortunately, their defense has not showed up yet this year. Atlanta hasn't had much show up yet either, but I'm going to take the Falcons at home over Washington. Next up, Houston Texans, another team that's struggling very, very badly, going up against a team that is dominating thoroughly, the Buffalo Bills. That's an easy one. We're taking the Bills. All right, after that, we have the Lions at the Bears. Now, Lions fans, I know that you have been through a lot lately. But this is your week, Lions fans. I'm taking the Lions to go into Chicago and win this one. I believe the Bears are favored, so I'm going to call this my upset pick of the week. Next up, Carolina at Dallas. Now, Carolina is undefeated, and Dallas has played very well, even in their one loss to Tampa Bay. They almost beat them. This is going to be a very, very fun game to watch, I think. At the end of the day, I think Dallas is just a little bit stronger on offense. And while Carolina has played very good defense this year, this will certainly be their biggest challenge to this point. Dallas gets the win there. All right. Colts and Dolphins. Now, as many of you know, I have famously picked the Dolphins to go to the playoffs this year. It doesn't look so good for them yet. And I don't think it gets any better this week because I think that the Colts are actually going to go into Miami and win their first game. The Colts have had a rough start to the season, but they've also played quality competition. I think that playing against a weak Miami team, their defense is not quite as good as it was last year. Obviously, they're on a backup quarterback. Their offense has been pretty much non-existent. I think the Colts are going to be able to go get it done there. All right. Browns at Vikings. What do you guys think is going to happen here? What's more likely? That Cleveland continues to play well and get it done and prove the doubters wrong? Or is this just the right time for them to slip up a little bit and the Vikings to pick up their second win of the season? You know what, Minnesota? I should have picked you last week. So maybe I'm chasing my losses, but I'm picking you this week, Minnesota. Let's go. Vikings are going to take it down. Saints and Giants. The Giants have had a very unfortunate start to the year. They had a pretty unfortunate start to last year as well. The Saints, hey, listen, they're not playing the greatest, but their defense is pretty strong. Giants don't tend to score a lot of points. The Saints aren't going to have to put up too many points to win this one at home. Saints will take care of business. All right, Titans and Jets. I think we all know where this is going. The Jets, they've had a pretty miserable start to the year. I think it continues. This is not the week that they pick up their first victory. Sorry, Jets fans. We're on to Kansas City and Philadelphia. And Kansas City, they've lost 2 games in a row, which is pretty shocking. They look maybe a little bit vulnerable. People are starting to ask questions. People are starting to wonder if the Chiefs are getting exposed. No, of course not. This team is very, very good, and they're going to easily beat the Philadelphia Eagles. And what more do I need to say? Okay, now this is for the division lead in the best division in football, NFC West. We have the Cardinals going to visit the Rams. Rams just took care of business against Tampa Bay. Arizona was in trouble against Jacksonville. None of that really means a whole lot. Both of these teams are very good. I just think that the Rams have a bit of an edge here I think they're a little bit better defensively. Arizona's not playing bad defensively, but they're not quite as good as the Rams are. The Rams they've seen Kyler Murray enough that they have some idea of how to play against him, and I think their offense is humming right now. So I'm gonna go with the Rams. This will be a close game, but I think the Rams will be in first place after this one. Okay, NFC West. Number 2, we got Seattle coming into San Francisco. Now, Seattle has been struggling the last couple of games. It hasn't looked good. The first half, everything's fine. The second half, what's happening? I don't understand. Where's Russell Wilson? What's happening? San Francisco, listen, they're a solid team. They're a solid team. They're not going to make it easy on you, and they're certainly not going to make it easy on the Seahawks this week. Hopefully they'll manage the clock correctly this time around, and they will pick up a narrow victory over the Seahawks in their second home game. Okay, Ravens at the Broncos. Now, the Broncos are 3-0. A lot of people are surprised about this, but you'll be a little bit less surprised if you actually look at the teams that the Broncos have played so far. None of those teams have actually won a game. I don't want to discount the Broncos completely. They are at home. They do have a solid defense. The Ravens didn't look great against the Lions. But at the end of the day, you have to trust that the Ravens are going to play a little bit better than they did last week. They're going to get things right this time, and Denver's going to take their first L of the season. We're going Baltimore. Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers fans, this is going to be one of those years where it doesn't go so well. Green Bay Packers fans, this is going to be one of those years where Aaron Rodgers does what Aaron Rodgers does, including beating the Steelers, just like he did in the Super Bowl that one time so long ago. Packers. And now for the marquee matchup of the entire regular season, the one game that people have been waiting for, knowing that it was going to be on the schedule. We have Tampa Bay, Tom Brady led Tampa Bay, going to visit the New England Patriots. It's the most hyped game probably of all time. There's never going to be anything like it before or after in terms of, a champion of this level being discarded to another team and then coming back to his home to try to put the beat down on him. And New England, as much as I respect Bill Belichick and his defense, this is not going to be your night, guys. This is going to be a long night. Tampa Bay is going to put the beat down on them, and Tom Brady is coming in there with that fire. So while everybody's going to be very excited for the game itself probably will not be that entertaining. And just another note in case anybody's wondering if, does New England have any chance? New England's main chance of winning games this year is they want to run the ball and play defense. That's really what they want to do. They want their quarterback to not make mistakes, be a game manager. Running the ball is not something you can really do against Tampa Bay. That's probably their biggest strength on defense. If anything, you have to throw the ball against Tampa Bay. So unless Mac Jones comes out looking like Aaron Rodgers, I don't think that New England stands a chance in this game. We're going Tampa. And our final game of the week, we have a battle in the AFC West for first place. Well, pending the Broncos loss that I mentioned earlier. We'll assume that the Broncos have already lost on Sunday. So then this will be for first place. The Raiders, 3-0. Very surprising. I wasn't surprised to beat Baltimore because I had picked that. You'd know if you watch my picks, you would know that the Raiders were going to beat Baltimore. However, they've also beaten Miami and the Steelers. And they've been pretty solid. The Chargers, they've been very solid as well. Their one loss came at the hands of Dallas, who's looked pretty strong. and at the hands of the referees probably. Although you could say maybe the Chargers, they're shooting themselves in the foot a little bit too much there. But listen, they just beat the Chiefs, okay? The Chargers are for real. The Chargers are for real. I told you guys before the season started, Chargers are a playoff team, no doubt about it. I think this is where the Chargers make their mark, and they take over first place in the AFC West. Chargers. Their one downfall is they don't have any kind of home field advantage at all. They have like no fans in LA. Literally nobody. I mean, half the fans are maybe just there to watch, and then there's like half the fans are Raiders fans. So it's that's their one weak point. But otherwise, the Chargers are looking strong. And of course, it's going to ask me how many points are we going to see in this one. I'm going to say the Chargers are going to win 31-24. So that would be 55 points, right? 55 points. And those are your picks for week 4 in the NFL.